problem. I still got plan C.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! Yeah, Plan C podcast. On a Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Today's episode will be covering week 2 of the NFL. Things we noticed. 0-2 teams we like. 2-0 teams we don't like or do like. All the fun stuff. We're doing it. Joined by co-host AJ, all the way from New Mexico. He didn't come to New York. We just did it, nice and remote. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. Make sure you check out our previous episodes, whether it's our Old Boy review, other sports content, or just, we've got some like philosophy stuff in there. Check it out. It's great. Make sure you are following us on Instagram, Twitter, on Google Podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube. We're all there. Say what's up. Like a video. Go check out some of our live streams. We haven't done one in a while. Maybe we'll do one. Maybe we won't. Probably, maybe. I'm just going to leave it up to, whatever. Anyway, hope you're all having a great day. Some quick NFL content coming at you. Hope you enjoy. Thanks again for listening. And let's get it. Woohoo! And we're back. Yeah. Talked about it in the intro. Talking about the NFL week 2 this week. So the way this is going to work is I don't think we're going to do a game by game breakdown. I think that's already been done. Just since Sunday night, people have been churning those out. So we're just going to, I think, talk about some trends we liked. Sort of just macro stuff. Joined by AJ as usual for my sports stuff. AJ, how you doing today, man?
Going good, man. Going good.
Nice. Glad to hear it. So, with DirecTV losing NFL Sunday Ticket, I really thought that I was like, oh yeah, YouTube TV having it now. All right, I'm gonna pay the $400. I have a separate link that lets me watch all the games for free without having to pay the money. So if you need that link, hit me up. But that is my long way of saying. Allegedly. That is my long way of saying I was able to watch a good amount of football this weekend. I watched the Giants, the Cards, Jets and the Cowboys, Broncos, Commies, Detroit, Seattle, Miami, New England, Bills, Raiders, and a little bit of the Chiefs game. Just hung out with a bunch of friends. We all had our laptops going. It was a great time. So I think a good place to start is 2-0 teams that you believe in, AJ. I have 5 2-0 teams I believe in.
Okay.
Where do you have any quick I know I'm kind of ambushing you with this surprise one to start.
You're good.
But yeah,
5 is a lot. That's quite a bit. I was surprised. I only have 2 teams that I have a lot of faith in that could actually go the distance that are 2-0. And that's San Francisco and Dallas.
When I say 2-0 teams I believe in, I just mean when I look at these teams, I'm like, oh yeah, like these are probably going to be playoff teams.
I mean, I'm still confident with that. Maybe throw in Philadelphia as well.
All right.
But I mean, so, we were a little bit. Well, maybe I was a little bit wrong. I think the last episode we filmed, I kind of shit on the entire NFC South, and we got 3 2-0 teams in there. But I'm sorry, I don't have a ton of faith in any of those teams still.
I respect that. I
want to hear your 5 because that's quite a bit.
Yeah, so my 5 right now, I got the Dolphins, Cowboys, Eagles, 49ers, and the Saints. The Saints pick, that's me being a homer, but that's also me just getting extreme confirmation bias that our defense is so fucking real, and just the slate of quarterbacks that we face this year, it's really, really silly. And again, I am still on this side of the fence because I'm a homer. And I just, oh God, how can you not watch that Saints defense and just think, oh God, they're so fucking scary and so real. I am not worried about the offense right now.
See, and that's the hesitant. I mean, you guys only have like a +4 point differential right now.
Yeah.
The defense is doing great. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys are holding the teams and the quarterbacks that you should be. Ryan Tannehill, horrible week 1, 3 picks, right?
Great
Last
week too,
night.
though.
Yeah, but it was against Bryce Young. It was against a rookie, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, you guys outscored Tennessee by 1 point and only outscored Carolina by 3 points.
I
That's what
think,
gives me a little hesitancy.
while I do think Carolina is probably the worst team in football, I do think Tennessee is good.
Worst?
So,
Okay. To kind of space on that point a little bit, I don't want to get too much into it. But last night, what you saw from Carolina offensively is exactly the reason why Frank Reich was let go in Indy, man. It is the most boring, dull, quiet, like predictable offensive play calling in the NFL. And I don't know, he started his career very, very like fresh and innovative, and then I don't know what happened. He cannot call plays anymore, man. It was a problem in Indy, and it's not a problem in Carolina, in my opinion.
yeah, Carolina, in my opinion, I think is just devoid of talent right now outside of Bryce Young. You know, oh, DJ Chark, and they have that rookie and Adam Thielen. Great. Do any of those fucking wide receivers even start in a fantasy matchup right now? I mean, maybe Adam Thielen. Oh,
See,
no, fantasy. But I don't know. There's just, around Bryce, there is nothing. It is a desert in
yeah, but
Carolina in
good play
terms of
callers
talent.
make it work, though.
I'm not gonna
Good play
I'm not gonna
callers make it
disagree
work.
with you. I'm not gonna disagree with you. I
I
just
don't
think
think Frank Reich knows how to utilize his talent. I really don't. I think it's becoming very apparent.
I think Bryce Young, it it's very easy right now to second guess the Panthers for trading the farm in order to draft him. I mean, they didn't even trade all that much to move to number 1, in my opinion. But I don't know. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Like, he's not passing over the middle. Like, just so many things are in the flat, and there are sparks. Last night on like a 3rd down and 12, he like scrambled and made a safety miss for a 1st down, and those are the exciting things. But I think buried over all of that is the fact that there's so much going against him in Carolina right now. Yeah, and I don't want to.
For first overall quarterbacks, right?
I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
Not many are usually put in good places.
That's true. That's true. But I guess for me, because he's shorter, he's mobile, but he's not fast. I just he's not thrown again. He's not thrown in the middle of the field. I right now would be very, very worried if I woke up a Carolina Panthers fan. Anyway, I'm not gonna. Let's not stay too long on the Panthers. Going back on my 2-0 teams. So completely agree with you. Cowboys, Eagles, 49ers. I haven't watched too much of the Cowboys. I watched their full game yesterday, and I watched a little bit of their Giants game. Or not yesterday, but Sunday. And I mean, for me, the only thing they are lacking, and lacking is such a relative term here, but I think the thing that will kill them maybe is Dak. That's the only thing right now. Dak and injuries, but everyone has to deal with injuries. I just don't believe in Dak as a passer at this point. Yeah. What do you think about Dak?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Surprisingly, he really hasn't had to do he hasn't been asked to do all too much, man. That defense is so good that he really hasn't. I mean, they're so far. I don't think they've played impressive teams yet. Right, both New York teams are a little bit in disarray right now, but
I think the Giants are better than people think. Carry on.
okay. But I'm just saying, regardless, that week one performance was terrible. Right, so that defense has been so good that that offense is not really gonna have to do all too much. Luckily, they have. I don't think they've really shown all that much to begin with.
They haven't had to.
Exactly, which makes it a little difficult to assess.
That's
But
fair.
I could see them. I don't see much difference from this year than years past that make me think that they're gonna all of a sudden have this crazy playoff success.
Honestly, I think after week 6, heading into their bye, there is a road for the Cowboys to be 3-3. Um, because if you look at their schedule, next week they go to Arizona. Okay, that's like that's the easiest money you'll ever get in your life. Home Patriots, at Niners, at Chargers. I almost said San Diego Chargers. Um, I think I've done that in a pod before, and somebody pointed it out to me.
I think those are all winnable games except for San Fran. That's the only game that'll be
I th-
interesting.
I think they're winnable, but I also 1000% can see them losing Pats, Niners, Chargers. I can see them losing all 3 of those games, and
It,
everyone comes down to earth on the Cowboys a little bit.
it'll be interesting because I think the Patriots are probably one of my least favorite teams right now in terms of their performance. I think they're bottom tier this year, and then the Chargers are just showing the exact same issues that they carried over from last year. They should have cut ties with Brandon Staley when they had the chance. But
Oh, I completely agree. That guy is, man, oh man, I don't understand what's going on there.
it'll be interesting. I think we'll have a better idea once we get past, like you said, past the trade deadline, past week 8.
So,
But I don't. No teams are really impressing me. Are
mm,
overly impressing me.
mm. So moving to sort of the other side of the 2-0 argument, 0-2 teams right now that you definitely have more faith in them than not. For me, I only have 2 teams that are 0-2 right now where I'm like, yeah, I could see them making a run. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I got 2 teams as well. For me, it'd be Cincinnati and Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota, very interesting. Okay.
Cincinnati, they've started out rough the last few years. It
I'm
has
not.
looked extremely rough though. I don't know if Joe Burrow re-aggravated that calf injury. I mean, it didn't really seem like he ever recovered. He hasn't looked great,
He
which
had a good
sucks because
second half against the Ravens. Like, I know they lost, but he had a good second half.
in terms
Eh,
of being the highest paid player, I mean, he only has 300 yards and 2 touchdowns through 2 games,
yeah, that's not
And
great.
though he played better, I mean, having such low passing yards, I mean, that'll happen when you throw 82 in a game. But regardless, I mean, still didn't look great, right? And this is the year they're gonna want to do it. They just paid him so much money. They're likely gonna lose T. Higgins next year.
Yeah, they couldn't come
It's
to an extension agreement, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if they're gonna be able to because they gotta save money for Jamar Chase down the line too. So I still think they'll figure it out. I mean, they're a very good team. I think they might have a couple more games where they're gonna struggle just because who knows what's going on with Joe Burrow. But Minnesota,
Yeah.
I'm not overly worried about them. They've looked pretty bad, but I still think all in all they'll figure it out. I think that run game, man, it's looking like such a poor decision to let Dalvin Cook go for both
And for
parties.
nothing.
Exactly, for
And for
both parties.
nothing. So
You
dumb.
obviously saw how poorly Alexander Madison played last Thursday to the point where he was receiving death threats, which is horrible.
Good job, Vikes
Um,
fans. Good job.
yeah, that was rough. I mean, I guarantee there's even people that some fantasy fans that are throwing shit out there too. But regardless, I think they'll be I think they'll figure it out. Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, has looked fantastic this year, right? But they got to figure out their ranking. They're the bottom ranked team in the NFL right now. They're averaging 34.5 yards per game rushing, which
Is
is
there any way the Vikings continue to lose and trade Cousins? No, right?
um I could see a world where it happens. I mean,
Like
I've even
Cousins to the Jets
seen
or something?
that would be ideal. I just don't know how much capital the Jets even have or how they can even afford it. But I've thought about that as well. I've thought about a few suitors that the Jets could trade for because they need somebody. They're not gonna. They already went all in on this season, the next two seasons. But I've even seen some people throwing around the fact that the Vikings could trade Justin Jefferson if the season goes as poorly as they think.
I mean,
Right?
can I read you the Vikings opponents until week 10?
Yeah.
Okay. So home Chargers. So that's going to be a tough game. At Carolina, easy win. Okay, so now you're 1-3. Home against Kansas City, good luck. At Chicago, easy win. Home Niners, good luck. At Green Bay, good luck. At Atlanta, okay, maybe you can win. Home against New Orleans. We'll see what
Easy
happens.
win.
Huh, huh, huh. No, I'm serious though. I think there is absolutely a way where like we go into the trade deadline and the Vikings only have like 2 or 3 wins. The second half of their season just doesn't get easier either. I'm sorry. There is a 3 week stretch where or a 4 week stretch where it's Broncos, Bears, bye, Raiders. But
Then
who
they
who
finished the season out with 3 division games though, so it's gonna
and
be tough for them. It really
yeah,
is.
it's gonna be tough. And people I was on the train with the Vikings last year, or the anti-Vikings train, where it was like, yeah, they're winning all these games, but their point differential is so dog shit. It's just like, I don't want to say it's just luck because they are winning those games, but it really felt like they were just not even close to as good as the record said, you know? Because what, they won
Yeah.
13 games last year?
Yeah, and most of them were all by 3 points, or what was the stat? 5 points or less, or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the point
they
differential was horrible.
yeah, no, crazy. So I personally, I'm not in on the Vikings, but can I tell you about an 0-2 team I am in on?
Let me hear it.
I am in on the Patriots, baby.
Really?
Yes, I am. I am. I am. If you look at the two teams they face the fucking Eagles and the fucking Dolphins. Outside of the 49ers are like, who is more talented than the Eagles and the Dolphins right now? Just in terms of teams that you're like, wow, there are some really big, mean, strong, fast players on your team. Like, just outside football and all that. I think they have faced two talented defenses. I think they have faced two offenses that already have an identity. And while Mac Jones hasn't looked great, I think he has looked miles better than what he looked like last year. And I think a large portion of that is coaching because they got Matt Patricia the fuck out of there. And yeah,
They
so
brought back they brought back Bill O'Brien.
Billy OB. I think the division may not be as strong as we thought it was. I mean, easy to say that with Aaron Rodgers going down, but I don't know. I have belief in this team, and I think they have faced two very rough teams going into it, and I think their defense is going to be awesome, and I think Mac Jones in the offense will be good enough. Now, do I think they'll make the playoffs? I'm not sure, but the people who are saying like, oh, the Patriots are, the worst team in football, this, that, and the third. Look at the competition. Look at the competition. Look at who they faced. It's Tyreek Hill and Tua, and by the way, Bill Belichick did like a pretty good job against that Miami offense, all told. I'm just saying. Yeah, but
I'm one of the
that's all I'm gonna say.
people. I think I'm one of the people that think the Patriots are pretty bad.
What do you see when you're feeling that?
It's boring. They're a boring team. They played decent against Miami. It's a division game. I think division games are mostly always going to be competitive regardless of the teams. All right, so I don't take too much into account, but I think they're such a boring team, and they have Kendrick Bourne as their number one wide receiver. None of their other options are playing great, other than maybe Hunter Henry. Their running game is horrible. They're not. I don't understand the utilization of Ramondre Stevenson. Maybe I know he's maybe a little banged up, I guess, but the fact that they're not utilizing him like they did last year. I mean, he rushed for close to 1,000 yards, if not over 1,000 yards, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So that's a little interesting. I like Mac Jones. I think he's better than most people. I think he doesn't get really a fair shake, but and the times of the Patriots being like the owners of the NFL of the entire AFC, those are so long gone. I don't see them being better than Buffalo or Miami.
I
I
I
just don't see it.
Yeah, I'll agree with you that I don't think they're as good as Buffalo or Miami. I'm just higher on them than most people, I think. Because I think that, they've had a couple of good drafts now, and, Bill Belichick
Christian
is
Gonzalez is looking
whoo,
amazing.
whoo, the way he boxed out on that interception, and usually I feel like those type of moon balls where the wide receiver has to kind of come back for it, that's like PI bait all day. And Christian Gonzalez fucking outplayed it. I mean, hey, good for you. You're first rounder. Get your money. Yeah. Anything else before we move on?
No, I'm
All
all
right.
for it.
I just some players I want to highlight in a good way. And I'm so sorry to say, but there are two Saints on this list. Number one, Bijan Robinson. Holy fuck. Holy shit. When was the last time a rookie running back like made this much of an impact on an offense? Maybe
Probably Saquon.
Zeke, maybe Saquon. Bijan is holy Christ, he's so fun. I am a Falcons hater. I am a Falcons hater through and through. Like I love shitting on the birds. But man, this kid is so shifty. It's like he's like faster Alvin Kamara. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it's like somebody took Alvin Kamara's sliders in Madden and just like kind of put it up further. Um yeah, what do you have you had a chance to watch any of the Bijan Robinson nonsense?
I have. He's been super impressive. He's been as advertised, to use a common phrase. Everybody knew he was going to be amazing with wherever he went. I was super against the Falcons picking him at the time. I thought it was a wasted draft pick. I thought they had other needs. They already had Cordero and Tyler Algier, but man, it shows you a running back, an elite running back can really change the dynamic and the look and the feel of an entire offense. And
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter's not doing anything amazing, but that offense, I mean, the team's 2-0. The offense has like somewhat of an identity.
And and and
Still
the
doesn't seem like that identity involves Kyle Pitts, but
and that Packers team, that's not a bad Packer team.
mm,
Like they just kind of I mean they kind of puked on themselves in the fourth quarter there, but not a bad Packer team. That was a very not only surprising but impressive win for the Falcons. Next player that I'm just beaming about. My man Chris Olave. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna try and kind of calm down, but holy shit, does he look so good? And it really seems like, I know the numbers aren't there right now, but it really seems like the Saints have a really quality trio of wide receivers right now with Olave, with Mike Thomas, with Rashid
Rashid
Shaheed.
Shaheed.
Um, wow. He had that insane fucking catch last night where he like kind of like tapped it to himself, or he like tapped it up and then caught. Just insane, just insane. I got three more players that I want to highlight. You got any?
Yeah, I got a few.
Yeah.
I have one guy that I've touched on. He hasn't done anything amazing, but I think he's looked impressive. Is Jordan Love.
Mm.
We talked about this guy for a
Yeah.
while. Did he had a, I guess you could kind of say, in a lackluster game. He only threw for 150 yards against the Falcons. But the dude has no turnovers, 6 touchdowns. That team, I mean, he's not even throwing to amazing players, right? Christian Watson's missing time. AJ
Yeah.
Dillon's missing time. He doesn't have like a full cast around him. I mean, he's still putting the ball where it needs to go. He's looked impressive to me. He's been careful with the football. I kind of had a feeling like it was going to be this way when he took over for Aaron Rodgers, but I've been super impressed with the way Jordan Love has looked.
Big test next week for him. Big test next week for him.
Yeah. Who are they? Who are they playing next week?
Home against the New Orleans Saints, baby.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. But yeah, he's been super impressive to me. Another player that it's difficult, right? Because we're only 2 weeks into it, so it could still change. I mean, there's one guy I'm sure we both have is Puka Nacua.
I
I
sadly did not get him in fantasy. I was
I
so
didn't
upset.
either. I didn't either. After the first week, I was like, it was probably a fluke.
Oh, I
Maybe
put
the
a claim in
Seahawks are just.
immediately. I put a claim
I
in
didn't even try. I didn't even try, and I feel bad. But I mean, if Cooper Cup comes back, hey, we can kind of maybe talk about maybe the Rams aren't as bad as we thought they were. You have
I
Tituato, Puka
mean,
Nacua, and Cooper Cup. That's a solid trio if they can keep it up.
yeah, Matt Stafford just like is like
I mean,
Matt Stafford from like
he
3 years
was
ago.
he was injured last year. The year before, he was fantastic. I mean, I kind of had a feeling like everybody was already ready to write him off. Was pushing for Stetson Bennett to start, but no, he's for a rookie. I mean, he's already setting records through his first 2 weeks. He's just consistently getting fed the ball. Right, he's
Yeah.
gonna have a ton of targets. He's been impressive.
Yeah. No,
One
completely
more
agree.
person too, who again, it's only been 2 weeks, so it's a little difficult. But I've been super impressed with James Cook. I was curious to see how that
Mm.
backfield was going to shake out with Latavius Murray and Damian Harris. I have James Cook in a couple fantasy leagues, and I was still like very hesitant about it. Week 1 was okay, but he really popped off week 2 against the Raiders. Had over 120 rushing yards. He's consistently getting targets in the passing game, so I think he'll put together a solid year if he can kind of keep up that same usage.
The Bills and their running backs have just like it's so weird because you know they have they've really missed on running back. And I'm not going to say that James Cook is a hit or miss yet. It's he had this is his second year and he only had 2 touchdowns last year in a very crowded back room in a very crowded running back room, and it's still a crowded running back room. But it's so funny to me because you think about like what they drafted Singletary, and Singletary looked great at first, but then just fizzled out.
Zach Moss didn't do much
Zach
with them.
Zach Moss didn't do anything with them. And it's kind of sad to say, but is Frank Gore the best running back they've had in the past 4 years, 5 years?
He's got to be,
Yeah, best
because I
running
mean,
back since like
Miami.
CJ Spiller, maybe.
That's where my mind was going. That's already probably been close to 10 years.
Jesus Christ. And before that, probably Marshawn. But Marshawn wasn't even great with
Fred
Buffalo.
Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor, fair, fair, fair. Yeah, that's true. When the Bills were like 5-0 in 2011 and then did nothing. Good times, good times. No,
There's got to be somebody we're missing. It'll hit me. I know there's somebody we're missing.
yeah,
Oh,
somebody.
LaShawn McCoy. What the hell?
Oh,
I knew there was
Shady.
somebody
Yeah,
like that. I
Shady
knew
had a
it.
good season in Buffalo.
He had a few good seasons. Who are
Um,
your other players that are impressing you?
uh, and this is just similar energy to like, hey, it's only been a little bit of time, but man, Chris Jones returning just changed that Chiefs defense. Like, ooh, and like they did enough to win the game against Detroit. But this time it felt like, okay, they're putting their mark on the game. I felt like most times when I looked on screen, T-Law was getting a little chased. And I don't know. So maybe not Chris Jones, but maybe just the Kansas City defense in general. I
No,
think
I saw a stat that he had it was like close to a 40% pass rush win rate
like
in his first week back. Is ridiculous.
that's just so. I think like he had a sack and a half, and I don't know. Just we've looked at the Chiefs and Mahomes for so long and just being this offensive powerhouse. And I think, they will still be an offensive powerhouse. It's Patrick freaking Mahomes. But that defense is going to have a good year as long as everyone stays healthy. As long as Snead stays healthy, as long as Jones stays healthy, as long as Bolton stays healthy. I think they're not going to have to like rely super heavily on Mahomes this year if, things are trending in that direction. Next two people I have, Tua. Whew, Tua is answering a lot of questions for me. Cause coming into the season, I definitely was questioning Tua, but he looks so freaking good. MVP odds leader right now on FanDuel, if anyone is curious.
I mean, he was at that point last year until his head bounced off the turf.
Just
Like he's been good. I've been another Tua believer too, man. He was good. They set him up very poorly his rookie year, taking him out of situations to put him Ryan Fitzpatrick.
yeah.
They got him some weapons. Dude was balling out last year and he got hurt. I think Tua is a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. I'm gonna say it. Proudly.
I'm right there with you. I am right there with you. I think I don't know what it is about Justin Herbert, but he's just got Lions Matt Stafford smell on him,
I mean, he's on the same path right now. Put up fantastic numbers.
I'm
Not really
and
having
I'm
much
not
success
ready.
otherwise.
I'm not quite ready to put him in that category because I think the Chargers have so much more talent on that team than the Lions did for Stafford. But yeah, Tua just quickly. He just the balls are just flying out so quickly. I think I saw a stat where like snap to pass is like less than 2.5 seconds right now, or less than that, and it's really really silly the fact that it's just all clicking. And they don't even have some of their best players on defense. Like Jalen Ramsey's out. This team is gonna get better somehow.
Jalen Phillips missed time
Jalen
too.
Phillips missing, like it's a little terrifying to be honest with you. And Mike McDaniel seems like an awesome coach. Like I don't care what anyone says. That guy is stoned all the time. There's no way he's not. He was totally vaping on the field whenever it was. It's totally what's happening. But I'm so fine with it because he's clearly an offensive genius. I mean, how much of a genius do you have to be to just be like Tyreek, run, But
I mean, if you look at it though, the
man.
way they're utilizing him, I didn't recall for week 2, but I know for week 1 he was. I saw that Tyreek motion was in some sort of motion before every play. Like he was getting a running head start before the ball was snapped. Every single route he was running, which is ridiculous. I mean, he's impressive. I like the way that team is running.
And last one, before we wrap things up, Carl Granderson, edge rusher for the Saints. I'm not a huge fan of the man himself, but he's putting out a good on-field product, and hard to not have that catch your eye. Had a strip sack last night, and just pressuring the shit out of quarterbacks. Great bookend for Cam Jordan.
What's the never mind, I was just looking up his why he didn't care for the man
Oh,
himself. Okay.
it's not good at all, and I don't love that he's playing well for the Saints, because it's like, I don't want to root for you, dude. Like, straight up, I don't. But
interesting.
anyway, one last thing before we go. Nick Chubb owners. Let's light a candle. Let's say a prayer. I'm so fucking sorry. Like, it's one of those players that I don't pay attention to the Browns too much, but I had Nick Chubb in a couple fantasy leagues a couple years ago, and so I don't know, when you have good fantasy players, you remember them and you kind of like to follow their careers, and Nick Chubb was one of those. That was pretty fucking sad to see that last night.
Well, it kind of begs the question, dude, and it's you hate to even say it, but that could very well be a career-ending injury.
Oh yeah, he's
That's the
28.
same leg he tore up when he was with Georgia.
Yeah,
The same knee, I should say. It did not look good. I am one of those Nick Chubb owners. I've been able to grab him the last couple of years, way later than I should have. He's such a phenomenal back, but this kind of goes into a bigger conversation, and I don't want to take too much time, but we talked a lot about it last podcast we did together. Was this whole running back situation? Almost all running backs who held out, who were threatened to hold out, or franchise tagged, what have you, requested trades, have all had something happen to them so far this year, man. Austin Eckler missed a week. Josh Jacobs is playing like dog shit. Tony Pollard's not blowing it up. He's playing okay, but he doesn't have more than 75 rushing yards. Saquon missing time. Did I already say Austin Eckler? There's Nick Chubb. Jonathan Taylor's been out for the last 2 weeks. He's going to be out for the first 4 weeks. Aaron Jones is missing time. Like, all of these running backs, I don't know. It sucks. You could say it goes either way. This proves why these running backs want more secure, better contracts. But doesn't it also kind of prove the point why they're not getting those? You know?
Yeah, I'm just happy Nick Chubb was able to get that second contract, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And even then, it was probably way less than it should have been. It was what, 3 years, 30-some million?
Something like that, yeah. No,
it's been not a great year for any of these running backs wanting to change things.
It put such a weird taste in my mouth, because you want these guys to get paid. You want them to get taken care of. You want them to have that security. But then it's like, if we're talking purely from like a business point and a success point in the NFL, it does not make sense to pay these. It doesn't. And that sucks. It sucks that we're sort of in a position where we're like, objectively, yeah, it's probably not a great idea to pay these guys. Because, even somebody like Alvin Kamara, who I love to death, after he got paid, like, he hasn't been the same guy, which, like, due to injuries and, rotating quarterbacks. So, like, okay, yeah, whatever. But it still kind of sucks, because it's such a weird feeling. It's such a weird feeling. And you look at Bijan Robinson, and you're like, in your head, you're like, wow, this is so fun. But in the back of your head, you're like, for how long?
That's the thing that sucks, man. It's sad. We'll see what happens with the Jonathan Taylor situation. I think that's the next domino to fall. So we'll see what happens. But
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, shitty situation. You really feel for Nick Chubb, man. He was so entertaining to watch.
And just like somebody who really fit sort of the like dog pound of Cleveland, I felt, like he had dog in him. He, like, I don't know, just the type of guy that was just like tough as nails, you know,
Yeah.
hit the shit out of people and got things done.
Oh,
Yeah.
I left somebody off. J.K. Dobbins. Sorry, his name just
Oh,
popped in my head as well.
that one's another one where it's like, it's terrible, man. It's terrible. He was a second rounder 3 years ago, right?
Yep.
And 3 years ago, who were the other running backs on the Ravens roster? Gus the Bus and Justice Hill, baby. Woo! Run it back. Let's go. Still there. Still there, baby.
Yeah, you gotta feel for the guy, man. Tough luck. He was trying to hold out for a better contract, and then popped his Achilles week 1.
I've been seeing some things about how John Harbaugh is like kind of an asshole, specifically to players, and that just kind of makes me think, you know, like, oh, a lot of injuries coming out of there last couple of years. Wonder what's going on.
There's been a lot of injuries, man, this entire season so far. We're only 2 weeks in.
Yeah,
a lot of big name players.
Yeah, but I feel like that always kind of happens the first 4 weeks. You know, they're just like devastating injuries to some of like the league's biggest players, and yeah, I don't know. Is our injuries up percentage wise, or is this just like us coming back to football? You know. Anyway,
it could just be, it's the star players too. I mean, when you have Aaron Rodgers go down week 1, it kind of puts a highlight on that.
That's true. Anyway, let's not end this on a dour note. Shout out to my fantasy team. We're looking so good. We're 1-1, but it's because we faced a demon in week 1. We're looking so good. I'm so excited about this season. I just feel like I have largely avoided injury and have also I'm definitely cursing myself right now. But yeah, no, I'm feeling fucking awesome about things. By the way, is your boy Anthony Richardson going to play against Baltimore?
I am leaning towards probably not. It seems like he was okay concussion-wise. Like, he was the one who reported it to the athletic trainers and whatnot, and get some comments from me that he seemed alert and whatnot after the game.
All right,
but
nice.
But 2 weeks in, he's been hurt twice.
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit of scary flashbacks to Andrew Luck. I think concussions are something to not mess with. This year, I think, is more about development than winning. I've said it okay. I'm okay if the Colts show signs of life but suck enough to still get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's my ultimate goal. And again, man, we whoop on the Texans. I know it's the Texans, but that team, I mean, Indy looked so damn good that first half that it really just kind of gives you that spark again. I'm like, shit, maybe we could run things. I think with the way Gardner Minshew played, he had such a high QBR. He was so efficient, doesn't turn the ball over. Dude's so easy to root for. I'd be okay. I mean, I think they should sit Anthony Richardson, roll with Gardner for 1 week. They're playing a Baltimore team that I don't think really doesn't scare me too much, to be honest, as a Colts fan. So I'd probably rest him. As fun as it would be to see Anthony Richardson versus Lamar, you kind of see those two go at it. Probably not. But who knows?
But who knows? Anyway, that's all for me. I got all my notes out. You got anything else before we bounce?
That's it, man. We touched it all.
All right. Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Thank you, AJ, for pulling up. Appreciate everyone supporting. Make sure you're following on Instagram. Make sure you're following on Twitter. Make sure you're following on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We are all over the fucking place. Yeah, and this episode will come out today, Tuesday. Want this out before the Thursday game hype starts. So enjoy listening to it. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. And yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you again, AJ. And see y'all at the next one.